There's a shoe in there. Whoa, 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 whoa! Call the cops, call the cops, call the cops!
Sadly, we are now able to confirm that yesterday we recovered Nicola Bully from the River Wire.
More than 2 years ago, during a training exercise, Lexington firefighters found human bones inside a car at the bottom of the Kentucky River.
I just came across a human jawbone.
The UFO has fallen right there!
A Russian nuclear sub encountered a formation of what appeared to be alien spacecraft at depth under the water.
Creepy ritual remnants and bizarre creatures existing in the cursed Red Rivers. There's a lot more to discover in the waters than just aquatic life. So, prepare to be left speechless as we take a look at what terrifying things were discovered in a 200-year-old canal.
I just came across a human jawbone.
Discovering human remains while fishing would probably be the last thing anyone would anticipate. While visiting a nearby river, this man stumbled upon a chilling find that completely startled him. A rusty jawbone with 2 teeth still intact.
And I don't know any fish that has teeth like that.
He found out that there were numerous burial sites near the river, explaining how the bone ended up there. Still, thinking it could be evidence of some criminal activity, he immediately contacted the police to hand over the bone for further investigation. Ancient femur. It seems common to find human remains in rivers. But what if you encounter one while scuba diving? Well, something like this happened to a guy a few years back while exploring underwater. During his dive, he made a disturbing discovery: a decomposed human leg bone. Quickly coming out of the water, he contacted the authorities to find it was related to some unlawful incident.
What do you think? Kind of looks I don't know either.
The mystery of whom the bone belonged to and how it ended up in the water has remained unsolved to this day. Creepy surprise. Out on a lakeside trip, a group of friends spotted an unusual white container floating in the water. Curious about what's inside, they decided to bring it ashore and open it up.
Open the hatch!
Upon closer inspection, they discovered that the box was tightly sealed with duct tape. One of the guys carefully opened the container and was startled by what he found inside. Thinking there was a baby inside it at first. After a few seconds, they realized it was actually just a doll. It seemed as though someone intentionally locked the doll inside the container. The friends speculated whether it was part of a creepy ritual or simply a prank to spook strangers. Red water. You might think this river is some criminal hotspot, but the truth is something far more interesting. This is the Red River located in Peru, and it's just the natural color of this water body. And believe it or not, it's a pretty famous tourist spot. But here's the thing, it doesn't stay like this all year round. The river gets this signature red color only during the rainy season. Here's another reservoir that has turned red, but this one has other reasons. The Pamekasan River in Indonesia turned into this blood red color when a batik dye was dumped into it. Since the water became unusable, it caused problems for the locals. Waterfall creature. Unknown creatures and creepy cryptids are found everywhere on Earth, and it seems waterfalls are also not safe from them. This clip was recorded when a guy was hiking near a waterfall in Brazil. What seemed like a normal waterfall turned out to be home to some dark humanoid creature. Did you see that thing walking into the water? Like the free-falling water was a walk in the park. Also, the water didn't seem to create any impact. Is this a water ghost? Or was this creature just able to control the water? Chinese cryptid.
It was 37 years ago.
A strange thing caught in China has left viewers clueless. This pale entity this man was holding looked nothing like you'd ever imagine. And before you think it's a hoax, take a look at its moving legs. The man turned it around, and its back was completely flat, like someone put it through a road roller. Was it a cyclops? It had one eye in the middle of its flattened body. What a complex creature! The clip took the internet by storm, and many people speculated that the clip wasn't real, but with no further information, it just went down on the unidentified list. Panda croc. If you're thinking this is a panda swimming in the murky waters, then get ready to be shocked. It's a crocodile! A croc that looks like a panda? Huh, who would have thought? This clip was recorded from Wang Chawak in Thailand, and it left the viewers fishing for answers about what led this croc to look so unusual. Only later, it was revealed that the croc was painted to attract tourists, and it worked like a charm. Just look at the crowd gathered to have a look at that unusual croc. Giant blob.
4 meter.
Out on a fishing expedition off the coast of Riau Islands, Indonesia, this group of fishermen witnessed a gruesome scene in the middle of the ocean. A giant marine animal carcass was found floating in the water, with a huge tusk-like thing attached to it. Netizens thought it was the Gajah-Mina, a mythical creature in Hindu folklore. But those claims were debunked when analysis reports revealed the carcass to be a baleen whale. The bloated giant must have made its way to the surface after passing. Beached alien. This alleged marine creature was found washed ashore on Sydney's Bondi Beach. The bizarre thing was noticed lying on a bunch of sea kelp by beachgoers, and it looked like something out of a creepy movie. You couldn't tell where its front was and what was its rear. On one side, there was a beak-shaped opening that could have been its mouth, but with no apparent fins or a tail, it was a complete anomaly. The people who saw it were left speechless, as they had no idea what the thing was, and it's been a mystery to this day. But if you do have any guesses, do let me know them in the comments. Rescue. Wildlife isn't always about predators preying on the innocent. Sometimes it's about a helper and the needy. This fish got a little far away from the water. Seeing the fish fighting for life, an egret nearby took it upon itself and helped it get back into the water. See how it held the fish in its mouth and dropped it where the water was deep enough. Scary encounter. This clip is your sign to not bait an alligator. Just see this and learn from it. The calm, murky water showed no sign of a lethal predator hiding beneath. But just when that guy put a meaty bait in the water, it was just a frenzy of splashes and a gator with a wide-open mouth jumping to get a treat. Whew, well, this river just became a no-swim zone. Jeez. Bigfoot skull. Bigfoot, the legendary creature believed to be a bridge gap between apes and humans, has long been a subject of man's fascination. While they remain elusive and are sighted rarely, some still believe in their existence. During an expedition in the Canadian wilderness, a man stumbled upon a discovery that left him utterly astonished. Buried in the mud along a trail, he uncovered a skull, thinking it was a bear skull.
Oh, it is a bear! It is definitely a bear skull! Holy mackerel! Look at that!
Looking closely, he found it was something completely different.
Look at that!
That's not a bear skull.
Actually, that is not a bear skull, you're right.
He thought the abnormally giant skull could belong to a Bigfoot that lived in the woods long ago. Giving his find to the experts for analysis, he waited for the assessment of primatologists. Vampire. A human-like creature with some inhumane features, with a set of wings and a ghostly blue color. There are countless creatures living on Earth that humans have no idea about. Just like this one. A guy caught this on his nighttime walk. In the distance, on top of a rock cliff, there was this creature sitting down. It's like it sensed the guy recording and opened up its wings and turned around a little. It pulled something on his face. Many internet users thought it was a real-life vampire, while others suggested it could be the Mothman. The clip left people questioning what actually lurks in the dark. Dark emergence. Locals in a Vietnamese town found themselves in a very strange situation when their only water source seemed to be taken over by a strange, dark hue. It emerged to the surface every now and again. Thinking it might be something toxic affecting their water source, a group of villagers decided to take a look in the water. Equipped with ropes, one guy went in to see if there was something in there. When they discovered it wasn't anything harmful, they just let it be. As long as it didn't affect the water or the residents, it was all right. Giant slitherers. Giant, slithery, with strange patterns on their bodies. These creatures seem to have infested this canal. This one with brown patterns on it slithered with another little one to the other side that seemed to be overflowing with these little guys. People thought it was a boa den, but someone noticed the one swimming had limbs, and instead they turned out to be giant salamanders. So, I guess not the best spot for your swimming activities. Marine Godzilla. Alright, you've probably seen or heard of Godzilla, right? You know, the big reptilian monster? Well, what if I tell you there's something like that in marine waters? Yeah, there it is! This is a giant marine lizard, just floating away without a care. And here it is in its natural habitat. Found on the Galapagos Islands, these are quite literally one of a kind on the entire planet. Just another thing to be afraid of in the ocean. Great. Salamander. Remember that salamander den we saw earlier? Well, I think you should see this as well. Here is another salamander, a giant one, living inside a hole in the wall filled with water. Seeing the guy with a fishy treat in hand, it came out, and in an instant, that fish was gone. Dino underground. Hiking around in the forests of South Carolina, a group of tourists stumbled upon a staggering discovery. Buried in the exposed roots of trees, there was a giant body of a decomposing Tyrannosaurus. It almost looked like it had been placed there recently. Many people speculated about its authenticity, saying it wasn't real. Some thought it was just a sculpture carved into stone. However, the tourists who made the discovery were sure it was the real thing. Fossil footprint.
Thousands of years ago, some of our prehistoric ancestors walked across a field in the modern nation of Tanzania.
While excavating near Tanzania, a team of archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery that made headlines around the globe. They uncovered an extraordinary fossil footprint site, one of the largest ever found on the African continent. This site has over 400 pristinely preserved footprints, estimated to be between 6,000 to 19,000 years old.
When we found this site and found that it had more than 400 footprints preserved on it, we immediately knew that this was a pretty big deal.
Analysis revealed that these footprints were left by approximately 17 individuals, consisting of 14 adult females, 2 adult males, and 1 adolescent. Experts believe that these ancient footprints would give an insight into human history, providing valuable information about our ancestors from millennia ago. Fiery water. Of all the things on Earth, water would be the last thing you'd expect to catch fire. But here we are with a clip that showed exactly that. This water is on fire, and you would normally think, how's that possible? Well, the only thing capable of putting even water on fire is actually natural gas, and this water apparently has got a crazy amount of it, which made this water flammable, and that bubbling you see there is the gas escaping. Although strange, the sight was pretty amazing to see. Hairy cryptid. A very bizarre incident went down somewhere in Indonesia when residents of a village heard about a strange creature terrorizing people in the nearby river. The guys went to the river and tried to take it down, and apparently it was some hairy thing floating in the water. After a bit of hide and seek, the creature kept scaring away the guys. After a lot of fighting, the hairy entity still wasn't captured, so the group called it a day and tried to just stay away from the weird river creature. Lake ritual. A very strange video surfaced out of Honduras when a group of people dressed in white were recorded performing some strange ceremony in the river. 2 people held one guy and dipped him into the water. But it didn't end there. After the ceremony was over, strange white clouds appeared on the heads of the 2 guys. Did you see that? The white smoke appeared and stayed there. When the clip was posted online, many people claimed they were performing some evil ritual, and the clouds were spirits surrounding them. However, with no clarification on the clip, its true nature remained a mystery. Ritualistic doll. This guy's visit to the cemetery turned into a spooky encounter when he found a tiny casket. Out of curiosity, he opened it and found a bizarre doll wrapped up in a red thread. It looked like the doll was used in some ritual or voodoo magic, and this guy straight up smelled it. Why would he do that? Finding a doll like this was already creepy, but finding one at a cemetery? I would have just thrown that doll right there and run away like there was no tomorrow. Here's another similar incident. This guy found a strange glass jar buried in the ground. Pulling it out, he opened it up and found a doll very similar to the previous one. This one was wrapped up in a black thread. Seriously, what's up with these dolls turning up in cemeteries? The guy undid all the knots on the doll to see if there was anything hidden in there. Finding nothing, he left it where he found it. Misty figure. I mean, it's okay if it's river monsters, but what is that misty apparition over a river? A cloud of white smoke in a humanoid form seemed to be floating over the water. When the clip ended up online, it sparked a frenzy of speculations. Some said that it might be an angel looking over the river, while others thought it could be some unknown monster shifting into this smoke to take a look around the outside world. However, the guy who recorded the clip left the internet to decide. So let me know what you think of this misty spirit. Koi pond. This koi fish found itself in a very unusual position. The water in this koi pond looked like it froze on the surface, and the fish got stuck upside down in the ice. Just a little wiggling, and there it went, all free and unbound to swim away. Sewer creature. Eerie creatures usually dwell in places that are dark, and when interaction with the outside world isn't possible. And that was probably the idea of this thing living in a dark sewer. But when a guy decided to explore the open sewer with a camera in hand, he wasn't expecting to encounter a humanoid entity that seemed to have made the sewer its home. The tall creature emerged out of nowhere with its eyes glowing in an otherwise dark surrounding, and the sight freaked the cameraman out. Abandoning his exploration, he ran out of there, turning around. Concrete igloo. I know you're probably thinking, why these igloos ended up in the ocean? Well, let me introduce you to the Cape Romano Dome House located in Marco Island, Florida, built back in 1980. Now, there's only the sliver of the original structure. Although the Dome House was built to be a tourist attraction, after being abandoned for so long, people have many theories about these structures. And let me tell you, they're not pretty. Some locals believe these domes inhabit aliens when submerged underwater due to heavy waves. Other people also think that these houses were used for an old religious cult at some point, but no one knows the truth behind these theories. So the domes stand as scary proof of an unknown past. Mermaid ghost. Mermaids are one of the most famous mythical creatures of our times, and even before their existence could be proven. This Indonesian guy says he encountered a mermaid ghost. Sitting near the riverbank, allegedly was a dark mermaid. The guys creeped up on her from behind. The village was known to be a sighting spot for the mythical beings. Many people think the encounter wasn't real, but locals and mermaid enthusiasts believe in the creature's existence and the encounter as well. visitor lurer. A guy encountered this woman dressed in white on top of a cliff, and apparently, she was dancing. This clip spread like wildfire across the internet and left people speculating about the woman on the cliff wanted. Locals believe the woman was a witch living in the forest and that she preyed on visitors or hikers passing by the cliff, and she lured them in with her killer moves. Now, I don't know what fools she's hunting. I would have been long gone before I even saw that dancing witch. Catfish excavation. When a sewer got stuck near an industry sector in Austria, a team of professionals were called in. But when they found the thing blocking the drain, everyone was shocked. A giant catfish was found stuck in the pipe. The workers had to bring in a crane. They chained down the fish and pulled it out of the sewer. The fish was measured to be about 8 feet long and weighed around 200 pounds. No one had any idea how the fish got into the sewer system, but it was later released into a nearby river. Submersible. We've all heard tales about those gigantic, evil river monsters, attacking divers and swimmers, but have a look at this one, hiding just beneath the surface. But before you get any ideas about Loch Ness monsters or a kraken, let me go ahead and tell you, this is actually a cow, but it sure does look like it could start a river monster conspiracy. And fun fact, these guys are not only good swimmers, they can also hold their breath for long periods of time. Lost tribe. An adventurer out exploring an Indonesian forest encountered a tribe seemingly lost in another era. Their bodies painted black and adorned with wild, long hair made them look as alien to us as we were to them, living a life of hunting and housing in caves. They looked pretty happy. The guys recording discovered that the tribe never had any contact with the outside world. Their dark body paint served as camouflage, helping them blend in with the dark night to evade wild predators. It's crazy to think these tribes exist right with us, and how we've remained clueless about their existence until now. Underwater embrace. The next one on the list could probably be adapted to a motion picture. Are these two underwater creatures embracing each other on the surface? Well, it certainly looks like that. Many viewers said that it was a bunch of fishing nets. But why would these nets get so cozy? Some even said it looked like a pale Dementor taking a dip. But I think with so little known about the deep oceans, it could just be some undiscovered creature. Let me know what you think of this clip. Gator River. World's scariest river? Oh, it's this one by far. This clip, captured at the Pantanal River in Brazil, made rounds on the internet and scared people of encountering something like this in their rivers. It seemed this was Gator Island, with the critters stretched as far as the eye could see. And I know you probably would never want to row a boat in there, but just for the sake of it, have a look at what a boating trip would look like there. Ugh, enough to give you nightmares. Scary piranhas. If you don't think piranhas are scary enough, then take a look at this. This fisherman tested a bunch of piranhas with a cow skull. Just watch as they go crazy as soon as the skull hits the water. These meat-eating predatory fish will eat anything they're offered. He dipped it in the water multiple times, and the meat got cleaned out within seconds. Thankfully, the guy was holding the skull by the horns. Otherwise, it wouldn't have ended well for his hand. Now, if this doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Stick snakes. You must have seen different kinds of snakes. Well, now have a look at these weird ones that look like this. The wavy stick thing this guy's holding is actually a snake, and it looked pretty lifeless. But just wait until it's dropped into the water. It slithered away like it's in a marathon. And see this guy who put it in a tub of water. It's like it just comes alive when wet. The thin patterned snake was completely unrecognizable and left people confused. Some said the snake thing wasn't real, while others thought it could be some new elusive species. Giant snake. A group was working at a construction site near a muddy swamp when they were faced with a reptilian situation. Calling in the bulldozer to pick up the slithery serpent, they were left in awe by the sheer size of the thing. And did you see its bulging belly? Probably the decaying prey inside of it. Picking it up from their worksite, the guys let it drop away. And it did go away, but not without giving a splatter of mud first. Swimming humanoid. A fishing trip for these guys turned into a run-in with the unknown. Going ahead, they noticed something floating in the water. As it came closer, they discovered its long black hair covering its face and a strange glow coming from its head. Could it be its eye? As the camera zoomed in, its face appeared, and it was covered in red and white paint. What was up with this guy? They tried to capture him, but the guy just disappeared. They searched what could be his shed, but didn't find anything. Bulbous fish. This footage has left everyone speculating about what these bizarre-looking fish were. Some suggested they were alien and fish hybrids, but soon these claims were debunked when someone pointed out these were actually black oranda goldfish, even though there was nothing golden about them. The guy recorded them in a way that only their bulbous mouths were seen, and not the eyes and the rest of their bodies. It's crazy how anything can become a mystery on the internet. Bizarre thrashing. A bunch of clips have been circulating online, and no one knows the context. Well, just have a look for yourself. This first clip was recorded near a dock, where a poor dog was swimming in the water. And out of nowhere, a series of splashes erupted around it, and the dog disappeared in the chaos. Another similar video surfaced where a bunch of people on a boat were ambushed by the same splashing scene. Somewhere else, the same splashes erupted out of the blue. Was it some sea creature we just didn't know about? Or some predator making its existence known? Jumpy critters. This field seemed to house some strange jumping creatures. If you're wondering what these are, well, they are actually tiny frogs. And let me tell you, they are intentionally put in that field. As these frogs eat all kinds of insects, they provide a sort of free pest control for the crops. And interestingly, they don't damage the crops. So it's a win-win for both the farmer and the frogs. Underwater vortex. Like many rivers around the world, the Chaolan Lake, located in Thailand, also has one. Every now and then, a strange river creature appears in the lake and gives people a show. Like this one, a strange vortex appeared underwater, like something or someone under there was twisting and turning around, moving inside the lake, leaving behind a trail of foam. Even the locals don't have any idea what this thing is, but they speculated some unknown water monster living there, and the cave leading to an underwater den was where the monster lived. Inexplicable swimmer. When a group of friends decided to explore a cave in southern Slovenia, finding an inexplicable creature wasn't on their list. With a snout resembling a crocodile and a body looking like a thin snake, the ghostly white thing had 2 arms attached to its head and 2 legs back near its tail. Its slithering movements in an underground lake were nothing like the guys had ever seen. Internet folks were quick to give speculations, with some saying it was a baby dragon, while others suggested it might just be an axolotl, but with no eyes on its head and its signature pink fins, it was unlikely. Alien fetus. A fisherman in Peru found this oddity on his fishing expedition. This tiny thing was floating on the water, and he picked it up. The bizarre creature only had a big, wrinkly head, and the rest of its body seemed to be inside a shell. The guy who found it thought it was an alien, and its strange looks did look like the one found in Peru that was later displayed in Mexico. Also, the fact that they found eggs in alien bodies made the discovery all the more suspicious. Could this be another alien egg that has hatched? Or was it just some hoax? The jury's still out on this one. Manatees outbreak. A Florida canal found itself teeming with numerous, massive marine creatures. The unusual sight quickly attracted the attention of locals, who were fascinated by the opportunity to observe the marine creatures from a close distance. Curiosity arose regarding the identity of these creatures, which turned out to be a large gathering of manatees. Nevertheless, the puzzle of how this multitude ended up in such a confined canal remained unsolved. Now it's time for today's open discussion. This picture going around on the internet showed an apocalyptic scene from the past. Back in 2015, archaeologists were called to check out a field in Belgium for a new housing project when they made a shocking find. A perfectly preserved German trench system with the remains of about 125 First World War soldiers. These soldiers, who had been buried for over a century, were unearthed along with a complete skeleton of an unknown soldier in a German uniform. Experts think most of the remains belong to German soldiers, but there could also be British, French, or South African soldiers who met their end from shelling during the war. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.